Do you remember those school tests with multiple choice answers? A, B, C, or D? And if you got it wrong, at worst, you lost a point. Now, tell me this. When was the last time life gave you options before throwing a real problem your way? No correct letter, no extra time, no teacher to explain it later. Just a flat tire in the middle of the road. A bill coming due. A broken heart with no instructions. And the worst part? No one prepares you for this. The truth is, we spend years memorizing formulas, but forget to learn the basics. How to handle things when everything falls apart. This is the story of Lucas, a smart, well-raised kid with plenty of diplomas, who completely froze during his first real-life test, and how he found out, the hard way, that life isn't a test, it's a training ground, and your choices shape who you become. Lucas had always been the pride of his family. Flawless report cards, honors, medals from math competitions. He was the kind of guy who could solve complex equations with ease, but had no idea where to find the car's jack. On a Monday afternoon, on his way back from a job interview, his dad's borrowed car started shaking. Flat tire. Alone on the shoulder, with no phone signal. He opened the trunk with confidence and stared at the spare like it was an ancient puzzle in a foreign language. He didn't know where to begin, didn't know which tool to use, didn't know how to ask for help. Sitting on the edge of the road, the sun dipping below the horizon, frustration rising in his chest, Lucas had a quiet realization. Knowing a lot isn't the same as knowing how to handle life. He wasn't dumb, far from it, but the kind of intelligence the system rewarded was useless in that moment. And maybe you felt that way too. Good grades, praise, certificates, but when it's time to deal with real life, an unsettling feeling creeps in. I don't know how to solve this. For years, Lucas believed he was ready. After all, he excelled at every test, every presentation, every group project. But life, unlike school, doesn't give you a script. It throws challenges and waits for your response. No warnings, no answer key. School teaches the quadratic formula, but it doesn't show you how to manage anxiety before a job interview. It expects perfect essays, but it doesn't teach you how to write a clear, confident email. It makes you memorize biological kingdoms, but never shows you how to take care of your body, your mind, or your sleep. Lucas started to realize that much of what he had studied had little use in the everyday chaos of adulthood. Of course, theoretical knowledge matters, but what life demands are skills, the ability to adapt, solve problems, stay calm, and act under pressure. Because when your tire goes flat, no formula can fix it. And worst of all, no one grades you for those things, but life does, every single day. Lucas remembered spending countless nights studying for exams, but he had never once been taught how to stay calm during a real crisis. He knew the water cycle by heart, but froze when it came to asking for help or handling rejection. In school, failure is a bad grade. In life, failure is a lesson. But no one tells you that. We grow up believing we must always get things right, on the first try. And when life demands something that was never in the textbook, we feel lost, weak, unprepared. Lucas realized he had been trained to follow instructions, but not to create his own path. He knew how to score a perfect grade, but not how to manage his emotions under pressure. Because the system trained his mind, but forgot about his hands, his courage, and his heart. School taught him how to pass exams, but who teaches you how to pass through life? That afternoon, after being rescued by an older man who changed the tire in under 10 minutes, Lucas went home in silence. His pride was bruised, but something deeper had shifted. The realization that his intelligence wasn't enough. The next morning, instead of returning to his usual study routine, he made a different kind of list. Not of subjects, but of practical skills he had never learned. The kind that actually make a difference in life. How to change a tire, how to manage a budget, how to cook basic meals, how to handle anxiety, how to organize time, how to say no, how to ask for help. He noticed how much time he had spent memorizing theories while neglecting the art of living with independence. He was great at following instructions, but unsure how to improvise. Good at being told what to do, but unsure how to act when no one was watching. From that day on, he made a decision. Every week, he would learn one simple, useful, real-world skill. Not to impress anyone, but to stop depending on everyone all the time. And slowly, confidence began to grow. Not the kind you hang on a wall, but the kind that comes from knowing, whatever happens, you'll find a way through. That was the day Lucas stopped living in theory and started living in reality. Over time, Lucas realized he didn't need to know everything. He just needed to build a foundation of real-life skills that made him more independent, adaptable, and confident. The first was practical problem solving. He learned how to break a problem into smaller parts, use the resources he had, and stay calm under pressure. This ability freed him from the fear of failure because now he trusted himself to figure things out. The second was self-management. He created a realistic routine, learned how to plan his days, adjust his expectations, and stay productive without burning out. This gave him the feeling of control over time, instead of time controlling him. The third was practical communication. He learned how to write clear emails, ask for help, give respectful feedback, and truly listen. These small, everyday actions opened more doors than any diploma ever could. These 3 skills, simple but often overlooked, completely changed how Lucas saw himself. No longer just a good student, he became someone prepared to face what comes after school, real life. Lucas learned the hard way what many people discovered too late. Life doesn't ask, it demands. It doesn't give you options, it gives you moments. And what you do with them, that's what shapes who you are. He spent years preparing for the right answers, but it was through mistakes that he found the answers that truly mattered. Because the real test has no schedule, no warnings, and no do-overs. It shows up in the form of a flat tire, an unread contract, a rejection you didn't see coming. And only those who build real-world skills are ready to pass. Learning school subjects gives you a diploma. Learning life skills gives you freedom. Now ask yourself, honestly, are you memorizing content or preparing for reality? Life won't wait for you to be ready, but it always rewards those who take action, learn by doing, and keep growing. If this story made you reflect, Share it with someone else who needs to learn what school never taught. Drop a comment below. What's one skill you want to master this year? And don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we share true stories to help you face the real test, life.